Hello everybody and welcome back to the channel. My name is Invin and today I'm going to be bringing you guys a video on the best money makers, or my best money makers for New World 1.1 Into the Void. Now, there's going to be a slight variation from server to server, but these things are generally going to be what is more in demand in 1.1 due to the updates that took place, and some other stuff that's now coming more to the forefront as more people are getting up into those higher crafting levels. So first of all, I'm going to touch on some things that you don't even need any skills to be able to gather, and these will sell for a quite nicer price on every server presumably because they are in high demand after the 1.1 update. And then I'm going to finish the video with some higher skill level stuff so people who are higher up can also have some additional methods of making some good money here. So first things first, here we're going to be looking at the Arcana table and of course the brand new Alkahest component which is in here now. And as you guys will see, all of these Alkahest potions require hyssop and water. Now, as well as telling you about the hyssop, obviously keep a hold of that for crafting them and it will sell for a fair amount now. But once you do manage to get yourself all the way up to this infused level, or indeed if you're selling it for people who are up there, you will notice that it requires hyssop, water, and Azoth water. So Azoth water is going to be a really good way to make money right now, as all tier 5 pots require it in order to be able to make it. Now, the best way to get this for me has been looping around the edge of Reekwater, kind of following the road around, but there's a lot around of Azoth water or Azoth springs in Reekwater where you can get a lot of this fairly quickly, and doing a whole lap of the zone, you can roughly get around 800 to 900, maybe even 1,000 if you hit every single node in one run round, if nobody else is contesting it of course. So usually you can get 200-300 if you just go to one concentrated area, and that can sell for quite a decent amount. I'm not going to show exact prices because they will fluctuate from server to server, but generally it's going for around half a gold to 2 gold each depending on the time of day on my server, so it should be a fairly decent amount you can get very quickly to sell for a good amount of gold there. The next thing moving in with potions since the update is how they are made. So you'll see here there is medical reagents, and this is for all health pots, also for regen pots. And what you can do on this is actually go on there and change some of the items. Now, if you're on the owned items tab, you can click on that to see all of the items available, and you'll see that Life Bloom Stem, well, if you're harvesting moats, you're probably going to have a few of these, but you can also use Bull Rush Cob. Now, this is only for tier 2 potions, but if we go all the way down to the infused health pots, just to prove a point here for you guys, you'll be able to see you can also put in the Bull Rush Cob. So on my server, and I would imagine most servers, these are actually now going to be fairly expensive, and you can find Bull Rush Cobs by any water source in the game. Go over and harvest it. You don't need tools, you just press E or your interact button with it, and you'll be able to harvest these, and you can sell them for about 6.6 or 0.7 gold per one, and you generally get 2 or 3 per plant. So you're getting quite a lot of these in quick succession with absolutely zero requirements into any harvesting. Very simple to get a hold of. You can either make them into the potions, which sell for a lot as well, which we'll get onto later, or of course just sell them as raw ingredients, which will sell for a very decent amount now. On the same strain as this, what we're looking at once we get into the powerful and of course the infused here, you need both earth reagents and spirit reagents, and both of these can be petal caps for the earth ones, or indeed earth motes, and of course for the spirit ones here you can have either bumble blossom or soul motes. So motes is going to be the thing I would recommend for you because they're easy to find on the map once you've leveled up your gathering, but of course also the bumble blossom and the petal cap are also very easy to get near both Windswood and in Brightwood as well. For the Bumble Blossom, you can find a lot of these plants, so if you go around, grab the motes and grab the Bumble Blossom and Petal Cap, you'll be able to make a ton of money off all of these crafting reagents, as they are the lowest end ones, but are needed right through up until those tier 5 infused pots. So it's going to be a really good way to make money at the moment since the 1.1 update. The next thing here, which if you guys have been on the channel for the past couple of days, I've been talking about Void Gauntlets, and of course the determined perk thing that you can do where you add a crafting perk when you craft them, which gives you a certain amount of stuff. Now, there seems to be a glitch or a bug at the moment where you cannot get Void Gauntlet weapon skill perks, which is these ones down the bottom here, by rolling it randomly. You only seem to get all of the other stuff like, you know, your crit damage, your speed, your banes, all of that kind of thing that you used to get in, but not the actual weapon skill perks. So if you want these, then you will need to get the actual items for them, or the crafting mods as they are called, and you will need to pick those actual items up from around the world or buying them from the trading post. That being said, most of these on my server, the lower end ones that are not as good, are selling for about 4 to 5k, and these really kind of sought after ones, Nullifying Oblivion, Petrifying Screen, Diminishing Orb, are all selling for about 8 to 9,000 per, because they are so rare at the moment. So any of you that have been putting off elite runs because you can't be bothered, you maybe want to rethink that, because these are really, really good. And of course, you can get crafting mods from pretty much anything on the game, so it's certainly worth trying to get a few of these, because it is going to make you a very good bit of money right now. Now, the next thing here is the raw mats, and that is going to be things like greenwood, iron ore, anything that is raw materials, raw hides, anything like that, because the way that crafting has changed now means that every item you craft needs to be level equivalent in order to gain a substantial amount of XP. In other words, when you unlock the next tier, so iron, steel, star metal, or a calcum, when you get up to that tier, you need to be crafting the highest tier you can in order to level up efficiently and effectively XP wise, because they've really reduced the amount of XP you get for crafting the lower level stuff at those higher levels. So for anybody that's played since launch, you used to just be able to spam all of the iron spears, for example, to just level up some of your skills there. Now you've actually got to try and craft the highest level ones, and of course that means refining and also using those lower grade materials, those raw materials, in order to get up there. So both your raw iron, so your iron ore, your raw hide, your green wood, anything along those lines, any sort of first level refined stuff, so like linen would be really good. And of course, all your crafting reagents then of any level are all going to be selling a lot since the 1.1 update, because you need to be refining all of that stuff to get it up to the level to be able to craft it, to be able to make the most XP possible. And as you will see on most of your servers, if I look at the price of, say, iron ore on my one right now, this is actually selling for quite a lot more than it was before, 0.18, and before the update it was going for 0.05, so a big increase. Of course, that's quite low. You could buy most of these out in one run, get it up to 0.2, and it has been at higher points, so it depends how much crafting's going on the server. And of course, right now on EU, we just had our markets reset, so prices are a little bit different, which is why I'm kind of not going over every price, but generally pretty expensive to get yourself some iron ore and some raw mats, so you can make a lot of money out of doing this. And of course, like I said there, the crafting reagents as well. Now, the final couple of things here are going to require some higher level crafting and refining skills, but I did just want to touch on these because after 1.1 specifically, they are going to be something that is sought after even more than before, and that's going to be things like your daily cooldowns. So for example, Asmodeum, which is limited to 10 per day, also Phoenix Weave, Runic Leather, all things such like that you can only craft a maximum of 10 per day of. Of course, because people are trying to now create new Void Gauntlets, they are also trying to craft that high level stuff. Because people can only craft up to 10 of these a day, a lot more people now this point into the game, about 2.5 months in, people are starting to max those crafting skills, so they are trying to buy Asmodeum, Runic Leather. They're getting that Void armor going, so they're going to need these daily limited crafting items, which means you can sell these for a very decent amount if you manage to get a stockpile. And of course, you will need them yourself as well, so it's a great idea to make them. But in terms of gold, you're going to make a lot of selling these because they are very, very sought after at this point in the game. And the final thing I want to touch on here then is going to be war consumables. So right now, people are not tuning in too much into the food buffs, as they are getting pretty much destroyed by the Void Gauntlet's kind of bugged out abilities. But that being said, that means things like health pots are much more valuable. Things like your honing stones, which increase your weapon damage, are really, really good, although these can also be taken off by the Void Gauntlet at the moment. But equally, things like oak flesh balm, which is really good. It increases your physical damage resistance for 20 seconds or until damage is received 15 times. Your gemstone dust, which increases your elemental damage for 20 seconds or until 12 damage is received. And those sort of things are much more in demand, along with things like regen potions, because of how much the food buffs are just getting destroyed. So all of these things right now, as well as things like up here in my inventory, I've got fire res pots, fire absorption pots I should say. These ones increase your fire absorption for a limited amount of time. These are really, really good because basically you're going to be spamming these either way. They only last a set amount of time or for a set amount of damage. So even with the Void Gauntlet, they are still much worth using, and people are starting to clock onto this now. People are starting to get to the level where they can craft the tier 4 and 5 versions of these, and they are very, very lucrative right now, especially, like I say, with the Void Gauntlet being bugged. This is where people are really turning to win the wars and turn the tide of battle when that is bugged out still. So make the most of it. Sell these if you can craft them at the moment, or try to buy low and sell high on these ones when people are having wars, because they are going to sell and make you a nice bit of profit. So hopefully you guys have enjoyed this video, found it useful in some good ways to make some money here on New World after 1.1 update has gone live. For those of you that are going to kind of say, oh, but you've only got 5.5k, I know I've been spending my money, I've been buying things, and of course we've had trading shut down on our servers up until yesterday, so I haven't had much chance to make money right now, but these are the best things that have made me a few grand back since we've reopened, so I wanted to bring you guys an update as soon as possible on those. Hopefully you're all enjoying the game still, hopefully you enjoy trading, you can make some money off a few of these tips as well. If you have enjoyed today's video, please do make sure that you drop a like on it down below, as it really does help me and my content out, and if you are new here, you want to see more New World content, I post daily New World videos, so make sure you are subscribed to the channel down below with the notification bells on so that you don't miss an upload. I would love to have you here as part of my channel community. And other than that, guys, as always, thank you very much for watching. Thanks for your time and have a good one. Peace.